What's going on, guys? It's Anime One back here with a new video, and today I'm here with the new parts of What If Naruto was neglected and trained by Shanks. So if you guys like the content in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video. Again, the like goal for this video is going to be the same as the previous one, 30 likes, and I'll upload the next part since you guys crushed the like goal pretty hard in the previous one. So yeah, pretty much get part 3 to 30 likes and I'll upload the next part of this video. So yeah, without me babbling on, let's begin the video. Honor wouldn't stop thinking about his team. He knew everything about his brother and his sister in terms of skill and personality. The only one that was mysterious to him was, well, Naruto. Itachi's thought went on that boy. The boy is probably the strongest genin on the team. He was interrupted from his thoughts as three genins had been and his mind arrived in front of him. Itachi looked blankly at the top of the group before speaking. "Sit down and introduce yourselves," Itachi said, motioning to the ground. The three genins nodded. Soon before, Itachi pointed at Sasuke to speak and received a nod. "My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I like training and my family. I dislike fangirls and weak people. My goal is to bring honor to my clan." As he said that, he looked back at Itachi, who nodded and pointed towards, well, his little sister. That was Samantha. Samantha also smiled. "Well, my name is Samantha Uchiha. I like training my family and sort of looking after my appearance. I dislike fanboys just like Sasuke. I have a tons of them. And well, I don't mind weak people. I think we should protect them. And my goal is, well, to bring honor to the Uchiha clan, I guess," he said. As Sasuke looked at her, "It's pretty much the same as me," Sasuke said as she glared back at him. "Do not act like that, brother," she said, as Itachi nodded. "Okay then," Itachi said, and as then he looked at Naruto. "Okay, then you go, Naruto, your turn," Itachi said, as because he wanted much as information that he could on the Genin. Naruto, without a word. Naruto, what the fuck? And Naruto contemplated on what to say before a moment before speaking. "My name is Naruto. I like my sword training and, well, you could say fire up to some extent. I dislike arrogant and those who cannot back up what they say. My goal is, well, unimportant and none of your business." Naruto said, surprising Itachi that the boy had chosen to reveal that much, considering the fact that Naruto didn't seem like he was the sharing type. Sasuke looked over Naruto before responding to his answer. "I don't see a sword with you," he pointed out. Naruto looked at him but never replied. After thinking about each of his team's response, he stood up to speak. "Most of the Genin teams are taking a test to determine whether or not they deserve to be Genin based on their teamwork. The fact that you came here to the training ground as one unit is enough to assure me that three of you will be willing to work together. But I do want to test your combat abilities. All three of you are to attack me so that I may understand all of your abilities," he finished before crossing his arms, looking bored, but keeping an eye on Naruto, who also had his arms crossed. Sasuke took the offense as to the fact that his brother seemed to be underestimating him so blatantly. He rushed forward and launched a kick at Itachi. Samantha did the same as she went towards Itachi's leg. Itachi jumped over Samantha's kick and ducked under Sasuke's punch as he literally vanished in a flock of crows and it appeared a distance away, to only be met with Naruto, who had his, well, fist inches away from Itachi's face. Before Naruto could land a fist, Itachi caught Naruto's fist in his hand. "Without your sword, you're actually not that strong," said Itachi as Naruto smirked. "I wouldn't be so sure about that," Naruto said, as his hand started to... "What?" said Itachi as Naruto was pushing him back. Itachi, looking at this, smirked. So you really are trained by him, he thought in his mind. He had met Red Hair once, and he had to say honestly that he was honestly a really good and kind-hearted man. The fact that he had found Naruto of all people, well, that was sort of a coincidence, since both of them were red hair. As Naruto smirked at Itachi as he was pushing him back, Itachi smirked. I wouldn't be so sure about that, Itachi said as he applied chakra to his hand. Naruto and Itachi were in a deadlock, as then he looked at Sasuke and Samantha. Go now, he said, as both of them took the opportunity as Naruto was holding Itachi down. This brat, thought Itachi in his mind. Before anything, as Samantha and Itachi landed their punch on Itachi's face, well, Itachi disappeared into a flock of crows. Genjutsu, thought Naruto in his mind, as he looked at Samantha. I think you have the Sharingan, don't you? Said Naruto as she looked at him. What? What? How do you? Well, I can just tell sometimes, said Naruto as he looked at Sasuke. You, on the other hand, don't, said Naruto. Sasuke put his head down. You didn't need to point that out, Naruto. He says Naruto's this side. I didn't mean to offend you. It was just a statement, said Naruto as Sasuke nodded. Well, whatever, said Sasuke as he didn't take any offense to that anyways. As Samantha nodded, keep her Sharingan up. Hitachi has already put us under a genjutsu. I've gotten out of it, and well, I'll put Sasuke out of the genjutsu, but you on the other hand, I want you to use your Sharingan. And just in case, whenever our chakra networks look a little weird to you, I want you to tell us. As he said that, she nodded. Very well, she said as she applied chakra to her eyes, and soon her eyes turned red with two tomoes in each of them. I haven't exactly described Samantha's description, but again, in my previous part, in the thumbnail, as you guys saw, she is a silver-haired Uchiha with black eyes and sort of like a really good figure for her age and whatnot. Let's just say that much, right? So as Naruto and Samantha are looking around, and he put a Sasuke out of the genjutsu, they started hearing Itachi's voice. You realize that, Naruto, that you are all on the genjutsu. You are the special one in this team. It'll be fun to see how far will I be able to take you without you releasing your sword, Griffin, said Itachi as both Samantha and Sasuke's eyes widened. He wields Griffin? They both thought. Of course, they had heard about the legendary sword, the Griffin. It was said to be one of the strongest swords of the nine, and it was wielded by. But the questions went out of their mind as they thought about it. We don't have time to think about that, we'll ask him afterwards, they thought in their mind. As Naruto smirked, I wouldn't be so sure about that. I exactly know where you are, said Naruto as he pulled out a kuna out of his pouch and threw it right towards a tree that was up there. Itachi jumped out of the tree. Observation Haki, Itachi said as Naruto looked at him. Ah, so you knew. I know Haki, said Naruto. Despite that, since you have Griffin, and you used armor and Haki when you try to punch me in the face, it's obvious to say that you were trained by him, red hair, and not to mention, that man was master of Haki, and it's obvious that you are one as well. Haki is in special Uzumaki type, uh, is in a special Uzumaki blood, uh, Kekkei. Only Uzumakis can use it, with the highest potential. Looks like you were able to unlock it. Interesting, Itachi said as Naruto smirked. Shame. Naruto quickly stopped himself before not deciding to speak about his former mentor. I'll take that as a compliment, Naruto said as he raised his fist. It was now black in color, but Itachi noticed something. Rio, thought Itachi, the advanced version of armament hockey. Who would have thought that? He would have even learned Rio. Shanks, you really did train this boy to the utmost limit. No wonder you gave him Griffin, thought Itachi in his mind as Naruto dashed towards Itachi. But during all this time, What Itachi didn't notice was, well, Naruto, Samantha, and Sasuke had made a plan. A plan to, at least, well, make Itachi impressed, and they're going to do it. As that happened, Itachi, who didn't have his Sharingan activated, had put them under Genjutsu, so it would only be a slight little chance for them. As Naruto appeared in front of Itachi with his fist coated with hockey, and slammed his fist into Itachi's palm, but Itachi noticed it. Shit, he thought as he jumped back. His fist was hurt, not from the outside, but from the inside. I forgot that Ryo hurts me from the inside, thought Itachi as he quickly started taking this a little seriously as he activated his Sharingan. Let's see how you do with this now, thought Itachi as he coated his fist in fire chakra. Interesting, Naruto thought. As well, fire was his main element. I guess that was the reason why Shanks gave me Griffin, thought Naruto. But he wouldn't use Griffin here. At least not until, well, those two did their part. As he thought of that, Itachi noticed several shuriken and kunai coming towards him with paper bombs in them. What? Thought Itachi as he was forced to jump away. And then soon Naruto appeared in front of Itachi. Itachi pretty much brought his arms in a blocking motion as Naruto slammed his fist into Itachi's block and sent Itachi crashing down into the ground. Soon Samantha appeared in front of Itachi. What? Thought Itachi as she went through hand sign, Genjutsu, she thought. And there was a split second. Only a second. Itachi was caught under the Genjutsu. He had let his guard down. If he didn't have let his guard down and discarded these two, he would have probably not been caught under this Genjutsu. And Itachi had let his guard down, and a second was all Naruto needed. When Itachi broke out the Genjutsu, which was, well, a second, Naruto was in front of him, holding a kunai to his neck. We win, Itachi sensei, Naruto said with a smirk. Itachi smirked back at all of them. Your teamwork is pretty good. I guess you all pass, said Itachi as he looked at all of them. From today and this day on, we are Team 11, said Itachi, giving them all a gentle smile that he always gave to the people that were precious to him. All of them smiled. Yay, all of them said, as this was something that they all wanted. Itachi looked at all of them. Before I start off, I want you all to go somewhere with me, Itachi said as he took them all to the cemetery. This is where people die. When people die, they're buried. You may ask when I was your age, that what was the meaning in life? Why do we kill? Why cannot we establish peace? Said Itachi as he was looking at all of them. He was making it very clear that he wanted a bond between all of them, so he was sharing this personal information. The answer that I came up to was because we're shinobi and we endure. I want all of you to know that as we continue on with missions and whatnot, the fact is that you'll be forced to kill. You'll be forced to kill others, but as you kill others, I want you to know that this is all part of being a shinobi. And if you decide to quit after getting your first kill or so, I will not blame you. Some people are just not made for this path, said Itachi as he looked at all three of them. The fact that Naruto was unfazed. Naruto, you already have your first kill, don't you? We are a team, so you can share it with me, said Itachi as Naruto pretty much nodded. Yeah, I'm first kill when I was what, 10 years old, said Naruto as both Samantha and Sasuke looked shocked. What, 10 years old and you had your first kill? I had left the village for, well, from approximately almost 5 years, so what do you expect? Uh, I, of course, had to be, like, kill someone in order to survive out there, said Naruto as Itachi nodded. Naruto has a taste of what the shinobi world really is like. That's why he's so much stronger than both of you. Even if I had to say it, since I was the one who trained both of you at most parts, especially Samantha. said Itachi, as he looked at both of them, and then he looked at Samantha. I don't want you to feel down. I want all of us to share information, but even if it's personal, with each other. Naruto, I know why you don't want to share it, but eventually, I hope we can gain your trust in order for you to do so. Itachi said. Naruto looked at him. So, I guess you're a sweet talker, said Naruto. Itachi looked at all of them and smiled. Well, I guess I gave some of my ideologies. Whatever, I guess I'll have to go to the Hokage and report that our team has passed. As Itachi said that, all three of them nodded, and Itachi vanished in a flock of crows. Samantha sighed. I guess we're a team now, she said, as she looked at Sasuke and Naruto. Hey, both of you, why don't we go out to eat? As he said that, both Sasuke and Naruto looked at him. Huh, sure, both of them said. They both were sort of similar in personalities. Both were broody, and both were, what to say in the most polite way, emo kids, is what Samantha would say, but whatever. As they all went towards a barbecue restaurant, as we cut to the Hokage's office. All Jonin's senseis were gathered in the Hokage's office, waiting to give their report. Minato entered the Hokage's office and sat on his desk, followed by the current elders of the village, Jiraiya Tsunade. Okay, so team tests were today. Please give us the results, everyone, he said as each Jonin stepped up forward to give their report on their team. Team 1 failed. As this went on up to Team 6. Kakashi stepped forward. Team 7 passed. Menma and Mito performed well, except for the fact they were easily goaded into a fight, and two of them almost let their emotion cloud their decision making. The Haruna girl is a bit of a problem as well, but I believe that we can train her and make her useful, said Kakashi. As Kushina nodded behind him, Minato sighed. He knew that the children would pass but they did let their emotions override their judgment, a trait that undoubtedly they got from their mother. As the Sanin behind them chuckled, as did a few Jonin. Minato nodded and motioned for Kurenai. Kurenai stepped forward. Teammate passed. Hinata and Hinata has the potential in gentle fish, but is hesitant, whereas Kiba is too impulsive, but Shino is very intellectual and was able to get his teammates to follow his plan of draining me out of my chakra, and then Kiba and Hinata alternated their clan styles against me, she said. Asuma puffed out his secret and let out smoke out of his mouth. And then he stepped beside Kurenai. Team 10 passed. Commanded Shikamaru and Choji to get me in her place for mind transfer jutsu to beat me, he said as he finished. Before he stepped back, Minato didn't know what to expect from Itachi. As Itachi stepped forward, he hoped that his team had passed for his son's sake, and as did Kushina was nervously looking at Itachi. The Jonin in the room, however, was sure that this team had tied to Itachi Uchiha had failed. Why? Because, well, even if most of the people will not like to agree it, Itachi was the strongest Jonin in the entirety of the village. Itachi had unlocked his Mangekyo Sharingan when Shisui had died. The reasons of Shisui's death are still a mystery, but Shisui had died, and well, it was suspected that Itachi was the one who killed him, but after some investigation, those suspects were pretty much laid to waste. As all this happened, Itachi was probably the strongest right now. As Itachi stepped forward, Itachi took a deep breath. Team 11 passed, he said, causing whispers to start among other joinings. Minato quickly got tired of the whispers and said loudly, "Quiet," before motioning for Itachi to continue. Itachi took a deep breath. What I say may not be easy for you to understand, but please let me finish before the questions are asked, he said, getting a nod in response from Minato. Team 11 has a greater potential then that of the legendary Sanin. He said, which immediately gathered shouts from the other Jonins, narrowed eyes from the Sani, and wide-eyed response from Minato and Kushina. This time, Minato had to shout, "Quiet!" to get everyone to settle down. "Please continue, Itachi," he said as Itachi simply nodded. Before I explained what happened for me to come to this conclusion, I will tell you about my students. Sasuke is strong for a Genin and needs training, but perhaps a new mindset. And my little sister, she's very similar to me in many ways. She has a natural kang for Genjutsu. Her Sharingan is already unlocked. Her Taijutsu and Ninjutsu are also pretty decent. Said Itachi, and then the one that surpassed all of my expectations, said Itachi as well, all of the people in the room had wide eye. Minato was shocked to see how much Itachi was praising everyone. But then he looked because Itachi had not said anything about Naruto. And Naruto, Minato asked, as he asked, getting an attention from everyone in the room, especially Sonny, who wanted to know how strong the boy was. The boy who they were supposed to have a relationship with, but never ever acknowledged him. Itachi sighed for what seemed like 100th time today. Naruto is the strongest Genin and the strongest Chunin in Konoha. He said, getting most shock reaction that he got all day and just during the day. At the night, I'm not sure exactly how strong he is, but his power is immense, and this might shock you all, but Naruto wields Griffin. As Itachi said that, silence set into the room. What? Kushina was the one to speak up first. He wields Griffin, the legendary sword of the Uzumaki? She said as Itachi nodded. Yes, and we definitely know who he got it from. Naruto had been disappeared from the village for a long time. There's only one man who could have given him Griffin. Shanks. Continued Minato for Itachi. Itachi simply nodded. Yeah, that explains why the boy is able to use hockey. Said Itachi, as that even shocked everyone. He can use hockey? Jiraiya was the one to say it this time. I've been trying to get those two to awaken their hockey for so long, but they can't, said Jiraiya as, well, Kushina also didn't have hockey, but Naruto did? Well, only someone with hockey can actually be able to awaken hockey inside someone, said Itachi as he looked at Jiraiya. You unfortunately are not an Uzumaki, meaning that you cannot use hockey. Shanks, unfortunately, or fortunately for Naruto in this case, was a royal-blooded Uzumaki, and for that reason he was adapted to hockey. No, he was the strongest hockey master to ever be seen in the Uzumaki clan. Search Itachi as he looked at all of them. Naruto is nowhere near Shanks' level. I can at least tell you that before you all start questioning me. But he will surpass Shanks. I can guarantee you that much. By the pace that boy is, as we all know, hockey blooms in the middle of battle. And if that statement is true, Naruto, who has probably mastered all three forms of hockey, is gonna surpass Shanks sooner or later as he gains more battle experience. As Itachi said that, the room was silent. I see now what you're saying. They have the potential to surpass the Sanin, a girl who's top control ninjutsu and has the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. A boy who's pretty similar to you in all aspects, Itachi, and is your little brother. And another boy of the Uzumaki clan who is pretty much the next coming of the red hair Shanks, said Minato as he's like pretty much scratched his forehead in pain. What a bothersome team this is gonna be, Minato thought in his mind. Minato took a deep breath before thanking everyone and letting them leave. Kushina, Kakashi, Jiraiya, and Tsunade stayed behind. What do you all think? Minato asked. Everyone was silent before Tsunade spoke. We fucked up. In the restaurant where Naruto, Sasuke, and, Samantha were. They all were enjoying their meal as Sasuke looked at both of them. I have to go. I have to, train with Dad. He did ask me to come early. As Sasuke said that, Samantha got a little bit of sad look on her face. Don't worry, sis, it'll be fine. I'm sure Dad will acknowledge you eventually, he said, as he put a hand on his shoulder and left towards his clan compound. Naruto was a little intrigued. Huh, acknowledge you. Do you mind telling me the story? Said Naruto as he looked at her. I guess it won't be pretty fair. You haven't told me your story. What makes you think that I'll tell you mine? She said, looking at Naruto, who sighed. I guess you have a pretty fair point. Well then, I guess I'll start telling you mine then. Naruto said, and he started to speak. Well, I was neglected by my family. Ever since I was little, my mother and father really didn't pay much attention to me. I was fed up of all of this. Menma and Mito bullied me a lot, and I mean a lot. And then after that, Naruto sighed. It all went poof in my head, and not to mention, they sort of banished me from the clan. Naruto said, as he took another bite of his barbecue that was in the place. Samantha looked at him. Yeah, I guess that's pretty terrible, she said as she didn't know about any of this. That's not even the starting. I left the village and soon met a man. Have you heard of the red hair? Red hair Shanks, said Naruto as she looked at him. Yeah, of course I have heard of him. He's one of the most powerful shinobis that left this planet. And, well, don't tell me, she said, as she started to put dots together. You were trained? Yeah, I was trained by him. I met him when, well, he was being attacked by some few bandits, and then, well, he pretty much slaughtered them. And as I was so impressed by his skills, I asked him to train me. And from my surprise, he was an Uzumaki just like me, someone who can wield hockey, and he was said to be the greatest hockey master to ever exist. So Shanks taught me how to use hockey. He said that even within the Uzumaki, only few can awaken hockey. Only someone or those people whose will are very strong and are able to awaken hockey, said Naruto as he took another bite of his barbecue. I guess that's all, and sooner or later, Shanks. Well, Naruto said as he looked at him. The sport was difficult for him to say. Well, I guess you don't have to say any further if you don't feel comfortable. Naruto shook his head. Nah, I guess I'm fine if you want to tell me something that is gonna be a little touchy for you as well. Might as well do it. Shanks, well, pretty much gave me his final words because, well, he was dying because he had a disease in him, said Naruto. Samantha widened her eyes. Oh, I see. Shanks said that he wanted to die by my hands as well, a final act of doing him some good. As me and Shanks battle, and soon I was able to defeat him. Granted, Shanks was not even in nowhere near his prime strength, or I don't think he was even using 50% of his power in that battle, but well, Naruto said, as took, he slammed his hand on his shoulder as Griffin appeared. This sword was passed down to me by him. Don't try to touch it, Naruto said as Samantha was trying to touch the sword. It will actually hurt, said Naruto, as the nine swords specifically choose their masters as they are handed down from one person to another. Orochimaru of the Sani also has one of them, the grass cutter, the Kusanagi blade, said Naruto as, yeah, Samantha knew of this as well. Naruto again put his griffin back into the seal as he looked at her. Mind telling me about your story? Said Naruto as he looked at him. I guess I'll tell you. I'm sort of an outcast in my clan. Mas the silver hair that you see, she said, pointing towards her hair, it's not a common trait in our clan. Because of that, Everyone pretty much says that I'm a defect or some kind of. This kind of comments eventually got to my father. And plus, he always said that I'm a girl and I'll never be able to grow strong as my brothers. And not to mention, he always says that I'm a defect. She said as he started to avoid his gaze, as Naruto was looking at her with a keen eye. She can be useful, thought Naruto in his mind, as she had darkness within her heart. And soon, things got so bad when my dad started to, well, pretty much ignore me and ridicule me, saying that, that I will only be good for bearing children for the clans and whatnot. She said as she sighed. At least he says that I'm pretty, and that's the only good thing about me. But he doesn't even know that I've unlocked a shotgun because one of his ridicule things actually got to me. She said as Naruto looked at her. You haven't had the fearest of childhood. I guess our circumstances are pretty similar. Uh, but instead of, only your father doing that to me, think of the entirety of the Uzumaki clan doing the same thing to me, said Naruto as he couldn't imagine. She didn't have her brother and, well, her mother. Both of her brother and mother support her so much, and only because of that she was able to get through with all of her father ridiculing her. Ah, I, I see. You were all alone. Well, I had others, said Samantha. As Naruto nodded. Yeah, pretty much, said Naruto as he smiled. I guess we are similar in many ways, Samantha, he said as he looked at her. How about we train together? Said Naruto as he looked at him. Really? She said. She knew for a fact that he was much stronger than he let on, specifically when he was already stronger only by using taijutsu, and Itachi did say that, well, Naruto shined most when he used his blade. Well, if that's what you're okay with, then fine, she said as she smiled at him. Naruto looked at her. That smile. That's pretty cute. Naruto thought as she was pretty, and that's the fact that he could not deny. He could see why she hated fanboys. If she could see a smile like that at them, it was obvious that they were gonna be madly in love with her. Naruto smirked. Maybe this team might be interesting, he thought in his mind as he let his thoughts go off. Maybe Shanks. This may be, as you said, flashback. As Naruto and Shanks were training, Naruto was currently 11 years old, meaning that only 1 year was left before all this, before the current timeline. As Shanks and Naruto were resting, the training was coming to a relatively good place. Shanks looked at Naruto. Naruto, what will you do if I'm not there? Said Shanks as Naruto looked up at him. Shanks and Naruto were back to back, so he couldn't really look up. But Naruto spoke. I, I don't know, but I guess I'll figure something out, said Naruto as Shanks simply smiled. Figure something out, huh? Naruto, I just want you to know that no one in this world is born to be alone. Everyone has someone. Eventually, no person dies alone unless they do some kind of bad deeds. Everyone has someone they care for. Naruto, what do you care for? No, said Shanks as Naruto's answer was right in his mouth. You and the rest of the guys in our crew, said Naruto as Shanks smiled. Ben Beckman, if he was here, he would snap you in the head, said Nara Shanks as Naruto chuckled. I guess he would. But, Shanks, do you think that I'll be able to find a place in Konoha if I go back? Said Naruto as Shanks just looked up at the sky. Yeah, I think you will. I really think you will. I think there are gonna be some people who understand you and accept you for who you are. Specifically, if you go back as you are right now, I'm pretty sure that you'll already graduate the academy within like what, One day, Shanks as Naruto started to laugh. Yeah, that would be pretty good, said Naruto as he started to fall asleep. Shanks smiled as he saw the boy fall asleep. As another man stepped up, he had, well, blah, what was that name again? Yeah, silver hair, as he was a pretty fairly built man, as he had a toothpick in his mouth, as he was wearing a cloak around him as well, similar to that of Shanks. Huh, Chief, looks like his training is going well. Yeah, until unless my endless catch-ups to me, I'm pretty sure he'll be ready. Ben, I know that he'll not be ready enough to take on them, but I want you to be there for him in case he needs it. I'm pretty sure they will come after him to get Griffin, so I want you to be there for him in case things get out of hand, okay? Said Shanks as Ben Beckman smiled. Of course I will, Chief. You don't need to worry about that. Said Ben Beckman as Shanks smiled. Thanks, Ben. He said. Naruto shook his head. Ah, good memories, Naruto thought, as Samantha was looking at him. Hey, Naruto. Naruto, she said as she was waving her hand in front of him. Oh, sorry. I just lost in some thoughts, said Naruto as she smiled. Well, I think I'll go back to the compound. Thank you for the meal, she said. Naruto smiled. Well, no problem, he said as he quickly paid his part of the bill and went to the training ground himself, specifically towards training ground 11. I guess it's starting, Shanks. My journey is starting. Just you watch. I'll make all of your dreams come true. And I'll definitely defeat the man that took your arm away and gave you those scars. I'll definitely defeat the man who even you could not. I'll surpass you and everyone. I'll become the strongest, said Naruto as he pumped his fist up in the air and smiled confidently, as if he was as if Shanks was looking down from the heavens itself. Shanks smiled. Looks like my boy is gonna be just fine. I don't have to worry. Shanks in heaven thought, as his body started to disappear. He finally got, well, sort of like a peace. His Shanks had finally passed on to the afterlife completely. So yeah, this pretty much gonna be it for part 3 of the series. Again, if you guys do want the part 4 of the series and do want me to continue the series again, I'm making this a long series and it's probably going to be very long, since so many characters have to be introduced. There are going to be new characters and there's so many other elements that have to be introduced, since it's a completely kind of new kind of story that I'm doing over here. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and again, get this video to 30 likes if you guys want another part of this series again, since writing these kind of what ifs is just takes so much time that it actually is quite exhausting. But again, whenever I like do not uh I have the script ready for any kind of these kind of what ifs, I just simply go with like the fanfic that I had started, and I'll pretty much be reading that. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out, guys.